Well, hello guys. We are here for my first attempt at video reviewing the playoff games of the first round of the UDL playoffs of 2018. I will try to do only one take of this, so you will get to see or to hear all the stupid things I said and my English fails. So I'm planning not to go on screen for now, so we'll just stick to the PowerPoint slides. So, without further ado, we'll go directly to reviewing the first and maybe the most surprising match. It's the Turtles versus the Ice Dice game, which needed a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker went in favor of the Ice Dice. It was the first tiebreaker, more goals. And you can see the categories were pretty uh, evenly split, and basically uh, it wasn't split goalies versus skaters or anything. Here you can see the top performers for each of the teams, and as you can expect, for the Turtles you see Radulov and Tyler Johnson, but basically just not enough goals for the Turtles. You see that three of the total five goals were scored by Johnson and Radulov. And on the other side, you can see what a performance by Jamie Oleksiak for the Ice Dice. He was a FA pickup on the Saturday before the matchup started, so it turned out quite well for Mark and the Las Vegas team. You can see 16 hit. This was, I think, tops in the whole NHL for the week. And you can see also here the goalies, how they matched. You see that Bishop has 1.0 save percentage, so perfect, but that's because he started and didn't finish a full game. He was injured, so this hurt somewhat the Turtles' chances. And you see how, what a surprise, the Ice Dice got quite good goaltending and very good ratio stats from Antti Niemi. And here you can see how the results were, and this is on Monday, Tuesday, and so on, throughout the whole week. So you can see that the teams were deadlocked from Friday onwards, the last 3 days. But throughout the match, the Ice Dice had a slight advantage in goals, so they held the tiebreaker for the whole last 3 days. Just a couple of notes that are not shown here. That what actually hurt the Turtles was that Elliot's big three from the defense. That means Bufflin, Subban, and Justin Falk. They basically didn't show up for this game. And for the Ice Dice, what was surprising was that his a duo of capital centers in Backstrom and Kuznetsov were actually also a no-show, and they mostly just destroyed the face-off percentage of their team, as you can see here, that they had quite low face-off percentage compared to the excellent ratio of the Turtles. However, this was the biggest surprise of the first round. The number 12 seed upset the number 5 seed and proceeds to the next round. So the next matchup we focus on is the Dubai Mighty Camels against the San Diego Girls. Uh, and you see another close matchup here, and with some some good some good performances from either side. Something of note, like Pasternak had 6 points and 15 shots on goal. 15 shots on goal also for Patrick Kane, but a very strong performance by Ryan Getzlaff for the Ghosts. And you see he contributes throughout the board. we see the goalies here. Not really impressive numbers by either of the goalies. In fact, the two teams here had the two worst goaltender ratios from all matchups. As you can see, the save percentage was well below 900, and all other games were pretty good goaltending and save percentage of mostly above .92. So you can see again the day-by-day results, and you can see that the mighty Camels had pretty much a slight advantage throughout the week, and were the goals were playing catch up most of the time. Some additional comments, like what could have helped the San Diego team, well, they basically had no contribution from Braden Shen, who was very strong throughout the season, and their stars in Taylor Hall and William Carlson didn't have their best weeks, as both of them contributed just a couple of assists, and this is not really awful, but compared to what they were riding some hot streaks, and they didn't really manage to maintain this level. About the mighty Camels in the next round, they will be hoping they get Mark Scheifele and Riley Smith back from their day-to-day injuries to have a better chance of proceeding through the to the semifinals. So on to the next round, and this was, I would say, the firecracker matchup of the first round. You see the Kansas City Scouts managed to win over the Montreal Wanderers with 9-5, but just look at those stat lines. This was like having a 7-6 game, and you were left wondering. You scored 6 goals and you still didn't win. That's what the Montreal managers in the Tim and Nick must be thinking. You take a look at the individual contributions. Look at this dynamic duo for the Scouts in Torrey Crook and Tyson Berry. What contribution from the back line. And Tyler Seguin and Ricard Raquel, again steady contributors for Montreal. If we look at the final weeks of the regular season, you could have seen this coming, because these were two of the hottest teams towards the end of the regular season. So they both got very good goaltending as well. Maybe a bit surprising to see Kari Lehtonen here with some good numbers, but he benefited from Bishop's injury, so this was some good fortune for the Scouts, as they look to have Corey Schneider back for their next matchup, and maybe he will round into form and maybe make the Scouts an even mightier opponent. You can see the daily results here. Scouts they had some control, and then the Wanderers nearly tied, but then the Scouts can pull ahead with a couple of categories to get the win. Really bad luck and bad seeding for the Montreal to draw the Scouts, but so is life in the playoffs. And on to the next and another tight matchup, which was again predictable, as these two teams, the Jackalopes and the Tigers, they finished tight in the regular season. So now it's no surprise to have them really close, battling out in the first round of the playoffs. So the Max's team progresses on winning some close categories like the goals here. You can see how close it was, but again, very good goaltending for both teams. Also very close, you can see. This was maybe the matchup with the the biggest number of categories that were really close. You can see that basically there was no category where one team ran away with it. And you see the contributors here. I think we don't appreciate, or most of the people don't appreciate enough how good Vincent Trocek is. I'm sure Max appreciates Mike, he appreciates it, but some of us, the other guys, he's just a monster. Uh, you can see also the goaltending stats. Pretty good week for Grubauer, who got a win and also a shutout and some very nice ratio stats. And I saw, it's just a fun fact, that Shalmarsson actually got his 10 blocks over 4 games. So Max can't complain about his numbers. But what he would hope for the next round is to get some more production from Tatar, who hasn't really lightening up since he got to Vegas. And for Cam, he would have hoped for a bit more, maybe from his stars in Stamkos and Philip Forsberg, who only got 2 assists each in this matchup. So these were the four matchups of the championship round in the first round. So here's how the bracket looks like. So these in bold, you see the teams that proceeded and the teams that were already waiting for them, the 1 to 4 seeds. So here again teams are reseeded, so the number 1 seed Quebec, he gets the lowest seed from the first round, which is the number 12 in Las Vegas. So we have the Sheffield and Odessa as the second matchup. Upper Canada Patriots and Kansas City Scouts this would, I predict, be really another great high scoring affair. And we have the Linköping, Brad, I don't know, I am working on the pronunciation, and the Dubai Mighty Camels. So this would be another interesting matchup. Maybe I see already on the chat it has started. Maybe more a battle of words than a battle of really top teams, but we'll see. Do not underestimate anyone. Just an overview also of the constellation bracket. You see here Hearst managed to scrape to a victory and avoided upset against the 8th seed Wolfsburg. Already on the start of the weekend, Hearst knew that they will not get their goalie ratio stats because Hutton, the goalie who basically carried most of the load for them throughout the regular season, he was day to day, so they lost this, but managed to win the face-off percentage battle on the final day, and they flipped the category, which was enough for them to win the matchup and go to the next round. The next matchup, the Aces, they put up quite respectable stats, but the Sparta Warriors pull out an upset here in the consolation round and proceed to the semifinals in that bracket. And just look at those goalie numbers. 11 goalie points. Most teams need a couple of weeks to get that. Maybe not, that even is not enough. Some very good goaltending. This was actually the duo of Roberto Luongo and Cam Talbot. They did the job for the Warriors quite well. And in what was the only, I would say, one-sided affair of the whole first round in both brackets, the Chilliwack Royals pretty much destroyed the Sour Bears. You can see them dominating categories across the board. Still 7 goalie points, quite good, a good feat for the Orlando team, and they have some good building blocks for the future. But watch out for these Royals teams. They have already McDavid, and they have the Florida duo in Bukestad and Huberdeau, and John Gibson in goal. So now they are going towards and fighting for their better chance to get another really top prospect. So Chilliwack might be a force in 1 or 2 years. And the last matchup of this bracket, another very tight affair, and another one which needed the tiebreaker. And you see that Kamloops has more goals, and they win by virtue of getting this tiebreaker. It's some interesting fact that both teams who didn't get their the goalie ratio requirements, they actually managed to overcome that and proceed to the next round. So as before, the constellation bracket is a little bit more uh, open, and surprises are more often. So, and look at the bracket here too. So again we have one more or less upset that Sparta managed to go through, and in the number 5 against number 4 matchup, it it can't really be called an upset. So we have in the semifinals of this bracket the Hearst against Sparta and Chilliwack against Kamloops. So these 4 teams, 3 of them will get improved odds at drafting some of these highly touted prospects. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it didn't get too long. And good luck in the next round to all, and hopefully look forward to the next video review. Ha! Bye bye.